Get up here in the Zoloft and get your head right.
That's right, it's head right time, baby. Thank you guys for showing up for TZL Un-Prescripted, your favorite head right hangout, man. At least I hope it is, right? That's we're hoping to become that for y'all. And man, what's cracking, man? FBI just gonna roll up in Trump's hood like that? Okay, so let us talk about the implications of this. And the thing about it is, when you try to pull it up, the search engine is going to give you all the left-wing narratives first. That's what you're going to get on it, and they're going to spin it their way. And the thing that I noticed is that the language that they're using is FBI executed a search warrant, right? Or executed a warrant. Is that even the right language? Can you say that? Because the FBI doesn't execute a search warrant. Help me out. I mean, I may be wrong, man. I ain't no legal scholar, man, but I don't think that's how that works. The police, the FBI, whoever law enforcement agency that we're talking about, and that's going to include the IRS, right? They don't execute a search warrant, but somehow these people are being. It's the kind of the legal language that's being put out there is going to mislead people, and people aren't really, people like keep out there talking about their rights and all that sort of stuff, and they don't even really know what their rights are. And while they're totally okay, they're okay with this happening to Trump. These same people will get mad if a police officer pulls them over and asks them for their license. Yeah. Right, you're intruding on my rights, and it's all but and police brutality and racism and all that sort of stuff. But the FBI, I guess, can execute their own warrant and go in and invade somebody's house, and that's okay, right? But as far as I know, the judge, so-called judge, who I guess is on Epstein's list, right? That's from what I'm understanding. Yeah, he's one of those. You're gonna have these activist judges out there, man. For Trump, man, I'm telling you, the MAGA folks. I voted for Trump. I voted for him both times, right? And as far as I'm concerned, he's still president. Trump, you don't need to be out there campaigning about running in 2024. You don't need to run again. Okay, you don't need to run again. You're still president. All right, I think this the whole thing is it's a misuse of resources. It's a misuse of campaign efforts and all that sort of stuff. Trying to make a case to why he needs to be reelected. It's like, no, dude, you were never really unelected. You're still president. You lost the White House. You didn't lose the presidency. So, but. I guess his handlers, they know what to do. And I guess, yeah, dude, that's how you ended up losing the White House. And you need to stop listening to these people, right? I'm trying to tell Trump and his MAGA, supporters, God bless y'all, but y'all, you really screwed it up for yourselves. You really did. All right. You emboldened and you empowered the left to do this to you, to do this to the whole country. All right. So, but like I said, I want to talk before I really, get off on a tirade as far as that goes. Let us examine, the Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, homes, papers, and effects against unreasonable search and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons of things to be seized. Okay, so there is no objective evidence to make this search. It is all subjective, and it's all a ruse. It's all a hoax. It's all that. So you can't really take a reasonable oath of affirmation of why these people are doing these things. Okay, you're going to go into his house. If anything, you guys are going to plant evidence. You guys have planted bugs. You guys have planted a Steele dossier. You guys, all this stuff and this ruse of election stealing and all that sort of stuff is done by the left wing. And they do have the support of the FBI to do it. The FBI is now America's Gestapo. All right. So this is what's going on. And this search is unreasonable. It is not reasonable to do this. All right. But like I said, they're the ones who get to call the shot, the swamp, if you will, the swamp that Trump was supposed to drain. See, you know, I don't know if folks really understand, man, that the president is supposed to be the chief law enforcement officer of the United States. He's supposed to enforce the law. It drives me nuts, man, when I see these memes. What's the latest meme? I'm telling y'all, they make Trump out to be like the MAGA Messiah. These people, that, you know, I'm telling you, man, they act like they don't worship Trump, but they do. Okay, and it's like y'all don't understand that the MAGA Messiah is supposed the president, period, is supposed to be the chief law enforcement officer of the United States. And then he's got this meme going out there saying that it's not that they're coming against me, they're coming against you. I'm just standing in their way. Man, this idolatry of Trump really didn't stand in the way of anything. Come on, man. Start being honest about it. You really want to do Trump a favor. I mean, that kind of messianic language, you know, that's what that sounds like. That sounds like the Lord saying, remember, before they hated you, they hated me first. Right? The Lord is the one who actually stood, you know, who stands in the world's way of intruding on your salvation. Okay, but now they want to kind of lean this language towards Trump as if the salvation of the country rests in his hands. No, it doesn't. And you're not doing the dude any favors by making these messianic memes out of him. Right? So Trump did not enforce the law. Trump didn't have any control over the law that has been taken to be used against him. Soldiers that were lined up to escort the actual insurrectionists into the White House. They sent Trump packing. Okay, he was not effective in standing. As a matter of fact, Trump helped fund what's happening to this country. He helped fund it. All right. And he needs to own up to that. I've been saying that before Alex Jones said anything about it. All right. He needs to own up to that.
Maybe with the shot.
Yeah. With funding the vaccine. Yeah. You know, the so-called vaccine. Sorry, I don't. You know, vaccine bag. All right. I don't want to legitimize it. Okay, so you got this this search that's going on with Trump, and man, I tell you what, I do not want, you know, I don't want anybody harmed or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm not going to make this following statement because I want Trump to get arrested because he did anything wrong. But it's almost like, you know what? Yeah, arrest him. Arrest him. Let's find out what MAGA is really made of. Come on now. Is this when, you know, you're mulling lob and you come and taking folks that don't tread on me? Is this when they're going to come out with their guns blazing and say, no, you ain't? And y'all, I'm not saying that to be an instigator. I'm not saying that to make fun. I am not saying that at all. The reason why I'm saying that is because these things that people have stood by are not the things that was going to protect our country effectively in the first place. Despite all the firearms you got, it has not stopped what's happening to our country. I've been trying to tell you that. Okay? When people out there talking about the Second Amendment protects the First Amendment, I've been trying to tell you, no, the First Amendment is what's being abused to erode the Second. But, you know, for some reason, people are, come and take our firearms. You just come and take it. They've been taking the country right under your nose. Right? Well, like I said, while you've been massaging your firearms, going down there to the shooting range, you know, and all that sort of stuff. It hasn't helped you. A lot of these things, these narratives that these people cling to, out of this self-righteous indignation, not even righteous, it's self-righteous indignations, is not helping you. Okay, so now you know, when you got the FBI going there, and I'm hearing the conservative commentators, mainstream and independent, all that sort of stuff, they just keep going on about the radical leftists this and the radical leftist that. Man, and I'm trying to and like I said, they keep saying it as if it's supposed to have some sort of effect. And I'm telling you, it does. It does have an effect, and it's not a good one. These people are not radicals. Damn it. If the Republican Party actually remembered that they were radicals and were actually starting to get flipping radicals, the left wouldn't be pulling this stuff. Maybe the Republicans need to realize that we were supposed to be the radicals. We were founded as radicals. right? We were founded that way. And when the Republican Party knew that they were radicals, that's when the Democrats got dealt with. Okay? When the Republican Party remembered that they were the radicals, when the Republican Party founded on being radicals, in model of the one true radical, the Lord Almighty himself, that's when the Democrats got dealt with. Well, see, the Republican Party has long forgotten that, and they've given that distinction to the Democrats. Democrats are not radicals. Democrats are rebels. But too much of the conservative party has forgotten that, and they just want to go ahead and keep, and they wonder why they give Democrats control over the language to steer this country. Republican voters have no idea how controlled they are by the left. They do not know. You know why Republican voters, conservatives are so hung up on calling these people radicals? You know why? Really? Because they are manipulated by the strategy of Saul Alinsky. That's why they do it. They don't even know. They have associated radicalism with Saul Alinsky, and they've allowed Saul Alinsky to control the flipping narrative from the grave. That's what they do. These suckers out there who keep calling these Democrats radicals have no idea what they're talking about. None. As they sit there beating their chest, calling the Democrats radicals, something that they are not. Why are you helping these people be trannies? Why do you do that? This is not an act of radicalism of what the left is doing. It is an act of rebellion. The Republican Party that was founded understood that. They called Democrats what they were, rebels. You know why? Because that is what the Constitution calls them. That is what the Word of God calls them. So these people out there who talk about how they love the Constitution and they know the Constitution so well, really? Then why isn't the language of the Constitution good enough for you? Why are you calling them radicals when they're not? Yeah. The FBI busting into Trump's home is not an act of radicalism. This is not some new radical Democrat Party. This is the same Democrat Party that it's always been, at odds with the U.S. Constitution and every bit the rebels that the Constitution has always talked about. That's who they are. Maybe you need the language straight instead of giving Democrats control over the language. Oh, so you're just, radical. You're just talking semantics. Then why do you keep using the word as if it has some sort of value? If it doesn't really have any value, it's just some word of semantics. What the hell do you keep saying it for? Trump is the worst of them. These radical Democrats, these radical leftists, you need to stop, dude. You don't know who they are. That's why they kicked your ass out of Washington. You don't know who they are. Drain the swamp. Like I said, they injected you with swamp juice and booted you out. Now they're raiding your home. You know why? Because you don't know who they are. You got to wonder, Trump, man, either it's you don't know who they are or you're just a poor judge of character, man. Yeah. It's one of the two. Everybody who was supposed to be with you has betrayed you. You don't know who you surround yourself with. Am I supposed to be so confident that this dude can really protect the country? You can't protect yourself, dude. Everybody you pretty much flipping know has betrayed you. You listen to these people who steered you wrong, from political to spiritual advisors, every flipping one of them practically. But I'm the guy that gets thrown into a ditch because dude, you might not want to go about this way. You need to mind your language on how you use this. Life and death is in the power of the tongue, and you don't seem to understand that. Now they're raiding your home, right? It's almost like the word of God when it says, hey, man, you can go ahead and clean up your house, but that demon is going to come back with 7 other brothers more evil than the one that left in the first place. They're coming in deep into your set, man. It doesn't matter about the politics, the economy, all that sort of stuff, unless the cultural groundwork has been made, which Republican voters have failed to do. I've tried to tell you. You go about the cultural narrative so ass backwards wrong, it is not going to hold up politically. The country is being taken from you and collapsing under your feet because you do not have the cultural representation to stand for what it is that you want to be represented politically. It ain't going to work. Like I said, you got these conservatives out there. Keep calling these people radicals. You are in the brain pocket of Saul Alinsky. This is his strategy, man. I'm trying to tell you. So, like I said, man, if we were the actual radicals that we were meant to be, and grabbed on to that distinction for ourselves, the way the Republican Party was found to be, I'm telling you, Democrats wouldn't be, they wouldn't be as effective at pulling this nonsense. Okay, so look here. Let me put it to you like this, y'all. When you got folks in there from January 6th, let me put it like this. You got a whole bunch of Republicans so brainwashed by the Democrat Party. You got a lot of Republicans out there, like I said, do I need to bring up the Confederate flag again? Do I need to bring up, because you got a lot of Republicans out there who are Confederate sympathizers. And they wave the Confederate flag and all that sort of stuff. And they got so much pride in the Confederate flag. And it's like, you guys are basically you are confused self-loathers. You wonder why the Democrats get as far as they do. You know why they do? Because you advertise for them. You got if you're a Republican waving the Confederate flag, you are a blind, confused, brainwashed, hoodwinked tool for the Democrat Party. You're waving around their flag. You're waving around the Democrats' flag. Hello. All right. When you make arguments for the Confederacy, you are making arguments for the Democrat Party, the same rebels that were against the Constitution then, the same party that is against the Constitution now. And you wonder why the Democrats are able to get away with what they get away with. The rebels, not the radicals. They are not radicals. Never have been. There's nothing radical rooted about them. They're not rooted in anything except their own self-interest, and that's a bottomless pit. There's no core to it. How can they even be rooted there? None. They're not rooted in the Constitution. They cannot be radicals. They're not rooted in anything, like I said, except for self-interest. And how do you root that? Because you can't satisfy it. The true radicals, the Republican Party, when it was founded, that actually had a foundation, a biblical foundation that understood that it's the truth that sets men free against the lie that Democrats imposed that says, no, you're not free unless we say so. See, Republicans don't know who they are, man. Too many don't. Now, you got, and not only that, the brainwashing is even worse when you got a lot of Republicans out there suckered by the Democrat Party, manipulated by the Democrat Party to think that Lincoln was some tyrant imposing Northern aggression. He wasn't imposing aggression on the South. He was imposing aggression on Democrats. When are you going to get over your pride and realize this wasn't about North and South? It was about Republicans and Democrats. Democrats who were in rebellion against the Constitution, who made their own Constitution of the Confederate States. These rebels right now are the same spirit that's occupying the White House, the same rebels who made an insurrection against the country and took the White House. That's them. Now you want to accuse Lincoln. You want to accuse Lincoln of suppressing habeas corpus? Really? Wow. You know what, man, you want to know what suspension of habeas corpus looks like? Suspension of habeas corpus looks like right now when you got detainees from January 6th under this administration, this Democrat administration. That's what habeas corpus looks like. Okay? Now, Lincoln was in his constitutional right to deny habeas corpus to the rebellious, just like the Constitution says, the rebellious who went to war at the behest of the Democrat Party who founded the Confederacy. People want to try to tell me that I need to learn my history. If you don't like this flag, you need to learn your history. No, you need to learn yours. You have repeated Democrat manipulated traditions, and they have tapped into your sentiments and your pride, and you can't see past that. And it goes before destruction, and our nation is being destroyed, ain't it? And this is why this kind of stuff is happening. This is why you can have the FBI go and raid Donald Trump's home. Y'all did it to him. He did it to himself. But let's read. What does the Constitution say? Whoever incites, sets afoot, assists, or engages in any rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States, of the laws thereof, or gives aid or comfort thereto, shall be fined under the title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both, and shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. That is what they're trying to use against Trump right now. They're calling on this. And you know why they're able to do it? Because the MAGA supporters helped make it happen. This right here, who incites? Well, that's what they're accusing Donald Trump of, ain't it? That's what they're trying to raid him for, ain't it? Right? Sets on foot, assists, or engages in any rebellion or insurrection. That's what they're trying to accuse him of, ain't it? They're hypocritically charging him with what they did. But you know what? They get away with it. You know why? You know why? Because the MAGA supporters don't call them rebels. They call them radicals. Why don't you call them what the Constitution calls them? Who the Democrat Party has always been. Rebels against the United States. Rebels who have gone to war against the U.S. Constitution. The one who is not qualified for office is Joe Biden. Now, you got Trump out there, the one who made it. You got Biden out there, who's the one who actually made the insurrection. The Democrats are the ones who did it. They're the ones who have always done it. Right? So, you know, what's up? You know, MAGA supporters, you know, you want to just go ahead and keep on listening to these high profile commentators and these parroting commentators, whether they're high profile or independents, you know, doing their own, getting out there, repeating the same language that everybody else is doing that didn't do the country any favors. None. You're well informed, yes, but you have no idea what to do with the information. You don't know what to do except for sabotage yourself with it. You don't understand the language. The Democrats have beat you with the language war. That First Amendment, that free speech that they abuse is a far bigger gun than that one that you celebrate with the Second Amendment. It's doing way more damage, But that's a field that Republicans, too many Republican voters don't engage in. They don't really support it. You know, they really don't. They think some political messiah is going to take it. They think that our salvation is in our politics. It ain't. Right? The cultural connection has to be made. And the engine for that is by the word of God. That is the driving force to it, which a lot of Republicans think they're too sophisticated for. You know, they want to go ahead and tune into the conservative because that's where they think that they're going to find their answers. We've been told how this works in the word of God. But, you know, you got too many Republican voters that feel like they're above that. So, you know, that's just where we are. You know, in this language of, that so many Republicans are giving over to, that Republicans need to realize. You need to realize. You can see that everybody else has been manipulated by the Democrat Party, but too many Republicans think that it couldn't possibly be them too. Yeah, they got a lot of y'all too, right? Not necessarily those who are in the Zoloft, because that's why you guys tune in. You know, we got the Lord's inoculation from that stuff. You guys know what's up. You know, but too many out there, all they want is the red meat politics, and they just want to be so informed and stocked up on and just like not even do Trump any favors and saying, dude, you might want to stop doing that. I wasn't one of those people who was like, Trump, you need to get off Twitter. No, I encourage you, man, be on Twitter, because that's where a lot of the culture is. Yeah. Make your case, man. Make your case and get on there and do it. You know, but people are talking about, you know, making Twitter like, you know, it's no big deal and stuff like that, you know, and basically gave Twitter the power to go ahead and kick him off. Yeah. You know, all these platforms that, you know, when conservatives out there talking about who cares what these people think, this stuff doesn't mean anything. Yes, it does. Yeah. Yes, it does. A lot of y'all you don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know who, and it's time to tap into the word of God and let these people know that they don't know who they're dealing with. Amen. But see, a lot of Republicans ain't doing that. They're looking for the resurrection of the Trump, you know, office. Right? That's why we're in trouble. You sought your salvation in Trump. People are seeing Trump as a salvation. And that's why he lost the White House. That's why you lost him as the president in office. Because you think your salvation is in him. Trump is not our salvation.
You think we're going to lose the country?
We've lost the country. We already have. No, but what we haven't lost is our lives. Okay? We lost the country. We haven't lost our lives. Now, just because we lost the country doesn't mean that we can't get it back. But at this point, yes, we have lost the country. And now, like I said, the thing that we haven't lost is our lives. Well, I guess that's what they got to take next before we realize that maybe we've been going about this wrong? Not me. I mean, I'm sorry not to try to toot my own horn, but the stuff that I've been talking about, that's not what mainstream conservatism does. It's Joe, so who are you? So we don't want to hear that. We want to do this because people with big degrees and a big platform, this is what they say. So we're going to listen to them. Okay.
About Jesus.
Right? Yeah, I'm just one of those unsophisticated people who talks about some, guy in the Bible or anything like that. Who wants to listen to that? Right? The Bible that's already been through all this sort of stuff is like, look, man, this is how this stuff happens. Might not want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay? Exactly. I see it in the line right. Journey, trials, and joy. Focus on Jesus. That's what we need, man. That's the filter. Right? That's the filter by how you understand the enemy with.
Amen. Amen.
That's how you do it. You don't understand this by just sitting there and zoning out on Fox News, zoning out on OAN, or news. And these people out there who are basically giving you the wrong language. They give you the right information, but they give you the wrong language. Does that make sense? It should. That's what these people are giving you. Giving you all this information, not the language, not the method by which to go to dispatch it with, right? Not the useful means to get out there and promote it in the culture. It's not being done.
Right.
Right. So, at any rate, y'all, that's.
We have a couple of discussion questions here.
What's up?
Dan Mark was saying an old Indian adage, what if I told you that the left wing and the right wing belongs to the same bird and both sides have so much dirt on each other that neither will be willing to pull the trigger on the other. Nothing but talking points and photo ops. And so that does make us feel kind of hopeless, but so where do we go from here? And we know we have a bunch of rhinos and Democrats.
Okay. So the adage of basically the left wing, the right wing, same bird, I get all that. I wish it'd be great if folks could realize that there's people and there's principle. Okay? People, the problem with the Democrat Party is that the Democrat Party does what it does. Right? The Democrats are, if for lack of a better way of saying it, the Democrats are being true to who they are.
Rebellious.
Right? So the Democrat Party is inherently at odds with the Constitution. The Democrat Party is at odds against the Word of God. That's just who they are. It's not just what they do. That's who they are. Okay? The Republican Party was founded to uphold and acknowledge the God-given rights of man and adhere to what this country was actually founded to be. That's what the Republican Party is. Here's the problem. So right there, you have a distinction between the two. That is a solid distinction. The problem with the Republican Party is that we got deviants. The problem with the Republican Party is that you have weak representatives. You have people who have a weak understanding of what the Republican Party is supposed to be. That is not necessarily the fault of what it is. That is not the fault of the Republican platform. That's the fault of people. So when people go with this narrative that two wings of the same bird, it's counterproductive. It's not helpful. It just isn't. Okay, it's not a helpful thing. I mean, you got a bunch of people out there who call themselves Christians and ain't close to being Christian. That ain't a fault of Christianity. That's not a fault of Jesus. That's a fault of weak people. That's a fault of deviant people. Okay, I'm not going to stop being a Christian. Well, all the religions are the same, just because I'm not going to stop being a Christian because other people can't uphold what it is. Right? I'm not going to be a Christian. I'm not going to stop being a Christian because I'm not perfect. Well, I can't be perfect, man, so I'm going to stop being a Christian. No. I need to lean on the Lord, man, and depend on him to help me walk and talk in his way. But I'm not going to stop being a Christian just because I can't get it right. He's the only way, right? He's the only way. And it's the same thing it's a little bit like that with the Republican Party. If we want to uphold this republic, That's why we're Republicans, because we recognize that this is a republic. The Democrats are Democrats because they think this is a democracy. And they want to be able to have the power to vote away the rights that God gave us. They want to be able to outvote God. That's why they're Democrats. Republicans understand that this is a republic under the rule of law modeled by God himself. And that law is we have certain inalienable rights. And these are how we're going to go about maintaining them without imposing a theocracy. That's why all these ordinances have to be put in, these clauses and articles have to be put in there to make sure we have these protections from a theocracy, from a government, forcing people to be able to do certain things, and forcing their ideas of liberty. Usually it's the government's liberties that they want to take liberties with, and their power that they want to take liberties with against somebody else's liberty. So we have all these wordings in there. But at its core, we are a republic that acknowledges the God-given rights of man. And these things have to be maintained. That's what it is to be a Republican. Now, that is what we should be saying. And people don't see the difference. I don't blame them. But y'all, people don't see the difference, not because Democrats are acting like Republicans. People don't see the difference because too many Republicans are acting like Democrats. People don't see the difference because you got too many Republicans out there advertising for Democrats. When you wave around that Confederate flag, you are advertising for Democrats. When you try to say that Lincoln was some tyrant pushing Northern aggression, you have been suckered by Democrats. You are a tool for the Democrats, and you are advertising for the Democrats. They get free advertisement from you. And you wonder why they win. And you wonder why people can't tell the difference. Or you wonder why people think the parties have switched sides. That's why. Now, if Republicans were actually the radicals they were meant to be, instead of calling Democrats radicals, and if Republicans actually started acting like radicals, well, people would actually see the difference. But they don't. Because Republicans don't see the Democrats as rebels. They just see them as this brand new, woke, socialist, radical party. No. You have no idea who the Democrats are. You don't see who they are. And I'll just close with this, and I'll remind you again. The Democrat-founded KKK, there's a reason why they call themselves the Invisible Empire. And Republicans are as blind to the Democrats as anybody else. Right? So, anyway, y'all, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that you guys will, like this video. I hope that you will share it. Right? Share that work. I'm serious. You want to help. If you're a MAGA person, you really want to help Trump. You want to help. You want to help. Make sure he gets this video. Put this under their noses. Right? Do it. Share these videos. Right? I gotta beg people to share these videos, man. I'm telling you. But yeah, share. Right? And if you want to hit that like and subscribe button, if you want to subscribe, I appreciate the subscriptions. But, like I said, it's still part of feeding the monster. But, I appreciate the algorithm help and all that sort of stuff. But if you really want to, help support this work, please visit my website, become a member at bronzeserpentmedia.com. It don't cost nothing, just a few clicks of your time to go ahead and give your email, and there you go. And you'll get my notifications for when I put up videos. Hopefully you'll be okay with me being on the mailing list that keeps you abreast of the content that I put up, showing your support. I do that so I can thank you guys and show that you guys have supported, or show that I've, that you can see what you supported and that the content is going up there. So it would be great to have you guys, and that you guys visit in the powwow and, leave your thoughts in there about what's going on in America. It doesn't always have to be the politics to be fun. Let's celebrate, what the Lord has blessed us with, that too. So visit the website, y'all, grab the mugs, shirts, all that good stuff. Drop a buck in the bucket to help keep your bro Zoe on the go. And, hopefully I'll be back we got the Zopium Den tonight, so I hope you guys tune in for that, 7 Central. Hope you guys tune in. I'll probably try to sneak in another TZL. Man, let's talk about Metallica. Talk about some real fun stuff, man. All right. Yeah, to Metallica, they're getting the Gen Z treatment because I guess they got some showtime on Stranger Days. Metallica's already huge, but I guess tapping into another audience. But we'll talk about that a little bit in a little while. All right, rock on. See y'all in a bit. See y'all in a little. Let me get my sip, man, so I can close right. See y'all in a little bit.